In this episode, in preparation for building 23 boat frames, a framing table is built. Soon, the actual first wooden structures for the boat will begin to take shape.
Hi, I'm Bill England of the Ambler Odysseys YouTube channel. I'm building a George Beeler designed 48-foot wooden troller yacht here in the C-clamp boat shed in the backyard of my Summerside, Prince Edward Island, Canada home. When completed, we will sail the seven seas in search of adventure.
When the weather outside is frightful, boat building inside can be so delightful. Let it sleet, let it sleet, let it sleet. To determine the size of framing table to build, first it is necessary to determine the tallest frame and also the widest frame by reading off the table of offsets. The width of the table is revealed by finding the frame with the greatest half width, which for this build is at frame 28. 7 feet 3/8 plus is the half width from the center line. So double it to 14 feet 7/8 of an inch, which I will round up to 16 feet. For the height of the table, we need to find the tallest frame. So we need to dig back into our boat building math to find the frame with the greatest difference between the ray shear and the rabbet. The tallest frames are up forward, and we find the greatest difference at frames 2 and 4 being 9 feet 5 3/4 inches, which rounded up to 10 feet. Now that I know I need to build a framing table that is 16 feet long and 10 feet wide, I can go and gather the necessary supplies. Building a framing table is straightforward. Just build a frame with legs, then add cross frames, more cross frames, even more cross frames, then some cross supports and more legs. Working solo means coming up with numerous ways to gain an extra set of hands, including using clamps and supports, and who knows what else as the build progresses. The frame and cross supports are made from 2x4s, as well as repurposed 1x4 deck boards, which have been screwed into pairs. The feet are all repurposed 4x4s. The framing table is being assembled where I'm able to access the outside of the frame. Once all the cross frames are installed, I will use my transporter to magically move it into a corner of the boat shed where it will be anchored to the exterior walls. Now that it is firmly in place, I am able to add the cross braces. This first row is being placed 8 feet up from the bottom, so that the top of the 4x8 foot sheets of OSB can be secured to them. Although Canada officially uses the metric system, lumber and most construction items are still measured in the imperial system. Go figure. As the world outside North America is fully metric, if you would like me to include the metric equivalents in these videos, just let me know by leaving a comment. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I thought it is a good idea for a test fit of the OSB. Now that is using my head. Satisfied that everything lined up, I cut an OSB sheet in half and laid them along the top of the table. When it comes to determining dimensions, the KISS principle is paramount. This is why I rounded the table length up to 16 feet. So it would fit 4 full sheets of OSB, no cutting required. For those of us with a developing bald spot on the top of our heads, maybe carrying sheets of OSB up there is not the best idea. With the sheets in place and screwed down, a couple coats of paint were applied, so that the lines to be drawn on the table to mark the frame dimensions would be clearly visible. The last step was to vertically mark the center of the table to represent the center line of the keel. The 9-inch width of the keel was also marked, as the bottom of each frame must straddle the keel regardless of the overall height and width of the frame. Et voila! A framing table is born. In the next episode, frame dimensions are drawn from the table of offsets. Lumber is milled to the 2.5 by 5 inch frame size. Frame timbers are cut to form a hard chine, which is strengthened with a pair of 1-inch thick plywood gussets. Process of building 23 sets of frames is underway.
For a front row seat on this do-it-yourself boat build project, please like and subscribe to the Ambler Odysseys on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. For a front row seat on this do-it-yourself boat build project, please like and subscribe to the Ambler Odysseys on Instagram.